Hello and welcome back to Let's Talk Shop. On this podcast, we talk to brand owners and sometimes buyers and sometimes retail experts about wholesale and doing business together. The aim is really to kind of bridge that gap between the buyer and the brand to make it all a little bit more human. My name is Therese and my business is called Small Business Collaborative. And today I am joined by Kate. Kate is an illustrator and calligrapher behind the brand Peggy and Kate. All of Kate's cards and prints and wrapping paper starts with like hand-drawn and hand-painted illustrations. And they are really detailed. So you can see all the brush strokes, which gives her work a really kind of nostalgic and charming feel. So thank you so much for being here, Kate. Welcome to Let's Talk Shop.
Hello, I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you. Perhaps it would be great if you could start off by telling us a little bit more about yourself and your business.
I started in around 2014, I think. I'm an illustrator and I mainly make cards, wrapping paper and prints. They're all kind of nature inspired, or they focus on celebrating the small glimmers of happiness we have in our life. They're very story led, so I like them to feel like a little story or a little art piece themselves. The original aim was for them to all be frameable, and then I've started to move into happy birthday and things just because that's will sell lots of cards.
Yeah.
That's kind of like my work has grown out since our initial plan, but everything's illustrative and story led. That's the best way to describe it.
Yeah, that's really lovely. And how do you sell your work and what does your wholesale look like?
So I sell mainly wholesale, direct to customers. I like from pitching or from sending out my catalogue, and then from fair, and I try and do one trade show a year if I can.
Yeah.
That's how I've done it so far.
It's obviously been working well. It's nice to just have the aim of doing one, actually. Some people feel that they need
Yeah.
to do all of them. Have you ever felt that pressure?
I mean, I'd like to do all of them. I just think at the moment one works because I have a really product heavy Christmas of making, and then I find by January I'm just absolutely exhausted. I've done top drawer once in January. It was hard to get from Christmas to immediately into a trade show. But yes, I think one works for now. I'd like to experiment and do a few different ones, and hopefully now my daughter's going to school, I'll be able to do a few more.
Yeah. I mean, building a business around family life means that you have to
Yeah,
do what suits you. So,
exactly.
so when you first started to wholesale, did you feel ready when you first started?
No, so I've basically never felt ready for anything in my whole life. So it was, but I have to make myself do stuff, like push myself off a cliff and be like, you're gonna do it. So when I started my business, I started wholesaling this at the same time because I knew it would be important for me. I had a bit of a wholesale background, so I knew the kind of how it worked, but I've since found out the company I worked at were wholesaling in a very strange way. So I had some bad advice in the beginning. But yeah, so I've always done it. I was always terrified. Every top drawer, I'm just like, let the world swallow me up. But I do get used to it after a few days.
And were you
Um,
illustrating when you, like before you started your business? Was that what you were doing?
no, I was in production for accessories, and then my boss could tell that I was getting more and more depressed from just doing Excel all day, or just kind of speaking to suppliers or chasing factories that just wouldn't make anything or just would kind of give you excuses. So she said, "Oh, why don't you just, in our 2 week break? Why don't you start do something creative? Like do some painting." So I did about one painting, and then I was like, "I'm going to start a business." So it was like the real girl boss side hustle beginning of that era.
Yeah.
I think 2013. So I thought, yeah, I'll start. I did one painting, and then I was like, I can make cards. I love cards. I collect them. I've always made them for my friends, and that's how it started. And then I just told like a random man once that I met. Um, he asked me what I did, and I was like, oh, I'm an illustrator. Like, I've done 3 pictures, it's fine. I just have to push myself to do it because it had been in my mind. I just hadn't given myself a kickstart. And that's what I need. I need to tell someone I'm doing something, and then usually I'll do it.
Because you don't want to disappoint
Yeah.
that other person once you told them, or
Yeah, it's like a people pleasing kind of thing, probably.
but they can kind of work in your advantage sometimes.
Yeah, it can. It can mean sometimes I say yes to things. Oh, well, not so much anymore, but I used to say yes to things. I'd be like, I don't want to do this. But yeah, at the beginning I did say yes to a lot of stuff. But yeah,
Well,
I think I figured it out now.
that's quite a good boss though.
Yeah, yeah. She was really nice. She was lovely. She could tell that because I've kind of been promised to do a bit more creative stuff, and it just wasn't really working out like at that time. So yeah, she was encouraging me to get happy, and then she let me go down from like 5 days to 4 days to 3 days to 2 days, like over the course of 5 years, and then I went full time in 2018 or something, doing this. So she was really supportive because she had her own business, so she kind of knew
That's so
what it was like.
nice. That must have
And
felt.
still my stockist now,
Oh, really?
one of my
I
stockists, yeah.
love that. That must have been feeling so nice. You didn't have to jump off a cliff to start your business.
No, it felt like it a bit, but I knew I had the numbers in the right places and I could do it, and it was tapered. And I think other people would have done it quicker, but I feel like I've always been a slow burn, so that's fine.
I think that's fine. You know, slow and steady.
Yeah,
Doesn't have to be a race.
exactly. Yeah.
What were some of the things that you thought you had to have in place before you started?
I thought I had to have quite a big collection, but I didn't. I probably had about 30 cards, and 30 card designs and some prints, and got my first few orders. So, but now looking back, it was quite like when I see my old line sheet, I feel heebie-jeebies about it. And I knew my pricing. I knew how to get my pricing right, and I had that background, so I kind of knew my pricing was good. I just had been told to kind of wait for orders rather than go out and find them. Which,
Oh, okay.
yeah, people will find you. Kind of. I did that did work for a long time. People did find me, so it kind of did work, but not anymore. I don't think this is quite different now.
It's quite different. It's gotten so much noisier. You know, back when you started, then I guess social media wasn't as big as it is now. Now it's so
No,
busy. You know, it's hard to be seen and for people to just
yeah,
find you.
like I had. Did you ever go to Renegade Craft Fair? It was a craft fair in East London. It was like American craft fair that came to London.
Yeah, I
It
think
was like
I
a big deal.
did.
So I had
Yeah.
they like yeah, it was like lots of people I know who still doing stuff were there, and they kind of Instagrammed something of mine once, and then I got loads of orders from it. Like it doesn't seem to work like that anymore, but yeah, it's interesting how that kind of has changed, like the social media has changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's much noisier.
So much noisier. So when you started them, what was your big learnings? What did you learn from that, do you think?
I learned to make cards that said happy birthday on them. What
You
else did I
laugh at
learn?
that, but actually, a lot of illustrators and artists that come into the industry don't want to make happy birthday cards.
No, it's I think I don't I'm not very strong on lettering, so I didn't want to ruin a painting with lettering, and I was really scared to use a font because of licensing. So I felt like I had to do it all myself. Once I figured out my way of doing a happy birthday card, it's fine. Like I really like doing them, and they sell really well. So that was one thing I learned. What else did I learn? That people aren't as scary as you think they're going to be. Usually, even in my first top drawer, someone asked me, "What's your carriage paid?" And I was just like, "Don't know what that is. I don't know what you mean." And then she told me, and then like, oh, she just was so kind. And then she walked around the show again. Then she came back and she was like, "Oh, and here are some other terms that people might ask you, and this is what they mean. And this is like a a stockist. So that was really kind. So I just feel like I learned a lot quickly at that first top drawer.
That is so sweet. Like, people are just nice
Yeah,
most of the time.
yeah, yeah. And then my neighbours at top drawer that first year gave me loads of help and would be kind of like, don't forget to smile. Because I'd be standing there like
Oh,
terrified.
that's actually such good
Yeah.
advice too. Like, I think it's such a good giveaway. Either if someone has been doing it for years and is really jaded and fed up, or if someone is really new and really nervous. Because,
Yeah.
but who wants to approach someone that looks miserable? That is so scary.
Yeah, or terrified.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, if someone looks a bit nervous, I don't mind so much, because, but if someone looks slightly angry, I feel like, what if they don't want to talk to me?
Yeah. I found for a bit I had to use a prop at top drawer, so I would just be drawing something. So I was like, I found it really hard to just stand there.
Mm.
So I was like, if I just draw a bit, and a few people were like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And then that was like a interesting way to start a conversation. But yeah, um, yeah, it was hard to get my face not to be kind of sullen looking because I was so scared.
I definitely have a trade show face. It's like, you
Yeah,
know, active instead of my resting face.
yeah, like aware of my features rather
Yeah.
than just kind of.
Yeah, it's like
It's hard on the
it's
last
not
day.
like a fake smile. It's just like I'm conscious that if I'm relaxed, my I look angry kind of
Yeah,
face.
exactly.
Yeah. So, um,
Or I can stare without realizing, which is
me
bad.
too.
If you like zone out
And
and
people
you're
are
just
like,
like staring at someone.
they're trying to get your eye, and you're like, yeah, I can do that.
Just kind of
Soon.
blank, yeah.
So, was there any moment where you felt like, actually, I can do this? Like everything, even if it wasn't perfect?
Probably again, that first show I did, I had everything on the wall in a way that I'd never done and been able to do at home or at a market. And I was like, oh, everything looks like it goes together, luckily. And it just felt like this feels like a proper brand. It feels real. That was felt like a great moment. And then I did get orders, so that was good too. Yeah, it just felt really, I didn't stand out. I didn't look like the person who didn't know what they were doing, which was good,
That's
which was my fear.
Well, that's so good. So, like, it actually was a bit of a confidence boost to put it all together.
Yeah, it felt really good. It felt professional, and people didn't realise it was my first show, which was nice. Apart from once they asked me about my carriage paid.
But that didn't stop them from ordering, though, did it?
No, exactly.
So
No,
it was okay.
no, they've ordered lots of times since. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, like, I think, well, as long as you're like very honest and be like, actually, I don't know what you mean. Can you help me?
yeah,
People are usually, they find that better than you trying to pretend like you know what they mean.
yeah, exactly. And yeah, or like they'll sometimes help me with maths. If someone will be like, "Oh, I'm getting this many designs, that's that much, isn't it?" And I'm like, oh, I don't know. I'm gonna have to do this on a calculator. I find that very tricky at trade shows.
I also, I mean, head math. I think I just gotten to use the calculator because you have your phone with you everywhere.
Yeah, I know how much. Yeah, yeah.
Like I
Well,
know,
yeah, I
like
always have a calculator at top drawer.
yeah, like I will know, like a 2.4 markup or £10 means the wholesale price is £4.16. I will never forget that. But if someone said, well, if I take 48 of these things, how much does that add up to? I couldn't do that in my head.
Yeah, no, I can't either. Some people can, and I'm just like, how are you doing that? That's amazing.
That is
Yeah.
impressive.
Because they'll be like, I'm going to get this many designs. That comes to this, doesn't it? Yeah. It's always like, this comes to this much, doesn't it? I don't know.
If you say so. So, how has taken imperfect action help you grow, whether that's pitching, following up, or even building your range?
I've just like doing that, pushing myself every day kind of thing has given me, from like starting from a very not confident place, has given me lots of more confidence. So I guess just to keep doing the scary thing every day if I can really helps. Even that's like, even I don't like, kind of struggle with sharing work even online, because I feel it just everything I feel very vulnerable all the time when I'm sharing work or even like sending a pitch. But I know that if I keep doing it and practicing that, getting through that difficult feeling, it only helps. Like not doing something isn't going to get me anywhere. Like just not doing it isn't going to help either. So just have to keep trying. It is hard to do it. I find the online thing the hardest, but I'm getting better at emails. I'm not great at phone calls still, but that will come, I'm sure. What else have I? Perfect action. Yeah, I guess every time I've shared like the behind the scenes, or not behind the scenes, like how I've created something and how it's gone wrong, and then how I've redone a painting, which I do quite a lot because I usually have to do paintings more than once to get it right. That has always been quite a good like start talking point for people online, and then you'll see that they'll buy that in their next order. So that's quite an interesting way to. That feels like they've got a bit of behind. I don't know. Behind the scenes isn't the right word, but work in progress. They know a bit more about my work.
I love a work in progress, like whatever it
Yeah,
is. It's like
yeah,
people that kind of do what I do, but like that help other service providers launch. They often launch or build a new offer in public. And I always find that so interesting.
mm.
Like, I just like seeing.
Yeah. Really nosy. I
Yeah.
like seeing what people are doing.
I'm also very
So I guess they all
nosy.
do.
Like, I want to know
Yeah,
what people had for dinner. I want to know what their pets are like. And yeah.
yeah. I think for a long time I thought that things were too boring to share, and then I find myself watching like a man reviewing sardines the other day. And I was like, if I'm watching this and enjoying it, I can share my paintings. That's
Yeah.
someone will like them. Someone. It's not that I want them to like physically like them. It's just that I don't want to. Yeah, if it just feels very vulnerable to me to share a painting.
I saw something of
I don't know
yours the
why.
other day. You shared a Christmas tree with a kitty cat in it, and it was so
Oh yeah,
cute.
yeah, that was a good one. That's I've had that in my little sketch in my book of cards I want to design for so many years, and like I've got to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it tonight. So I did it, and it took like 2 hours. I was like, why didn't I just do that years ago? But there we are.
Well,
There's so many cards, so little time.
maybe it wasn't ready. Maybe it needed
Yeah,
to
the kitten.
brew over in your head.
Yeah.
So, what would you give it, say to someone, if someone else is listening that is feeling like, super vulnerable and not wanting to do stuff, like, how do you actually, when you say you push yourself to do it, like, how do you do that?
In the past, it's been like just kind of letting myself get quite low, and then being like, you've got to snap out of it. And like I said, like pushing myself off a cliff. And now I just try and do something every day that is a bit scary. Um, because if I let myself hide for too long, then I'll stop selling stuff, and then I won't be able to do this job anymore. So that's quite a big, it's quite risky to hide. But how would I enter? Oh, I've made a visual cue, but I don't know if I'm allowed to share it on
Yeah.
the podcast because it involves a swear word.
You are more than welcome to share anything swear wordy.
So I found myself, I was doing pictures the other day, and I was just like, I was just so scared. I was thinking like, what if they don't like my work? What if they reply to me and they're like, this is horrible. Take me, don't email me again. And then I was just like, they're not going to do that because you're emailing a nice gift buyer at a lovely garden centre. They're not going to be, it's not Alan Sugar. So I made myself,
I
I
love
made
it.
myself a little fuck it button, and it's just on my desk. And then when I just press, kind of like just, it's quite nice to press.
Yeah.
And it's just there to remind me to just do the brave thing, because like I'm the only one that can do it, so I've got to do it.
Love that. Like Marina, her episode will come out before yours. She also has a visual kind of cue, like like a board with post-its and, and and like a picture and stuff. She shows it in her video too. But I think visual cues, if you're a visual person, is could really work.
Yeah, it really helps. It's yeah. Otherwise, it just and it also just reminds me it's not that serious. It's
Yes.
like quite a silly thing to have, and it's not that. No one. It's greetings cards. It's not brain surgery. It's going to be okay.
Yes. If someone did not like your email, they're just not going to reply. That's like the
Exactly.
worst thing that's going to happen. They're not like going to pick up the phone and yell at you, or nothing bad is going to happen. Like actually bad,
No. Yeah.
even
Yeah.
if it
It
feels
just.
like it.
I think it feels. Yeah. It feels. It's interesting to learn that about yourself. That sending an email can feel like running away from a bear or something. It's like my brain and my body has that same reaction. I do find I was holding my breath doing stuff
Yeah.
and then being like after I'd sent it. It's like when I first learned how to drive around a roundabout. I'd be like, ugh.
I think I used to
So
do that
yeah,
when I
it's
had to
just
walk
practice.
into a shop, like and like
Mm.
tour pitch something. I used to like stand outside the shop for and come up with all the reasons why I shouldn't walk in, and then I would walk in and look around the shop, and then I would come up with like 30 more reasons why whatever I was selling at the time was not a good fit and why I should not introduce myself. So
Mm.
I think, but the only way to get over that, like you said, it is to push yourself.
Yeah, to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still haven't gone into a shop and spoken to anyone yet. But that is on my list. I did go into the garden museum a few weeks ago and I just walked around and was like, I'm gonna go. Not the garden museum, sorry, that's on my list of places to go. The British Library.
You know, you somewhere like that, you might not even get to meet the buyer. You could just ask who to email without
Yeah.
having to pitch, you know, you're just asking for a contact as a first step. I wish I could do this. We actually did that when I was running a much smaller group. We went to Brighton for the day, and we were three brands and me, I think, and we were taking turns in stores that was relevant in Brighton because there were so many shops. So there was a shop for each brand. They were quite different. And they took
Mm.
turns walking into a shop and introducing themselves. And because there was like three people waiting outside, you couldn't just walk out and be like, no, I didn't do it. So I think it really helped. And I think that like actually Morena, funnily enough, she's in the program sales growth lab too. She actually got a bit addicted to it afterwards, and she realized that it was much quicker and much easier for her to do than say picking up the phone
Mm.
or emailing. So I think it's like about finding a way that works for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna try it locally and then expand, I think.
Yeah.
So I think if you do it locally that you've got something to talk about.
And maybe just bring
You
a
can't
few
live
cards
nearby.
and say, like, if they're there or if they're not there, then you can ask if you can leave some samples for them to have a look
Yeah,
at.
exactly. Yeah, that's my plan for this year. To use more in-person stuff that's scary because I think I could get really comfortable with the email side of things and never do it otherwise. And I know that good stuff comes when I push my good stuff will happen if I push myself. So don't worry.
Yeah. I mean, even if it feels uncomfortable, you can pretend like you were out with your kid and bring your kid. You could just be like, oh, your shop is the perfect fit. What a coincidence. I'm just going to ask who the buyer is. And then
Mm.
you're not by yourself. It doesn't, you could just do it together.
I'll probably be braver with her as well because I don't want to look like I'm scared in front of her.
Exactly.
So I'll probably be more confident. Yeah.
And
If I'm on my own, I'll be like, I can't do it. I can't do it.
you could just try that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe before school goes back.
Yeah. Go. Yeah. I've got about I don't know how many days left. 2, 3 weeks? I can't remember now.
Something like that, I think.
So,
Yeah.
oh, it feels like a long time.
And what would you say to someone that is holding back from wholesaling because they feel like they're not quite ready yet?
I'd probably just say just start. And if it's something you're already selling online, then on your own website or Etsy or something, you'll find a customer for it. You just need to figure out the right shop, I think. And if it's the right price, but yeah, I'd say just start. And like, if like when you're tiny, no one's really looking, so you can kind of make mistakes, and it doesn't matter if once you're just starting out.
I love that. It's actually better to start before you become internet famous.
Yeah, it's better to get one order wrong for like one like £60 order wrong if it's cards or something than a massive order.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Then like chasing after like being big and going viral and then having your first order go into like Selfridges and then messing it up for some reason. It's better to, I mean, that's also amazing. If that happens to you, don't say
Yeah,
no
that's great.
if you can do it. But, you know, when you're small, you have that like, you can do a little bit trial and error more opportunity.
Yeah, and you can change things really quickly. Like if you want to change something really quickly for someone, you can be very flexible.
Yeah.
If your products aren't all kind of, you don't have loads of stock or barcodes and like complicated things.
Exactly. And what has been your proudest moment so far in your wholesale journey?
I really like seeing my cards when I'm out and about. Sometimes if I tell someone what I do and they're like, "Oh, I've bought one of your cards from somewhere," I find that really exciting. Yeah, that's always makes me really proud. Or like if you can make someone's uncle interested, I find that somehow that makes me really proud. Like a family friend asked me what shops I'd be in, and I said one he knew, and he was like, "Oh, I know that shop." Oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, because it's a serious. I think for a long time everyone thought it was like a little hobby,
Yeah.
and now I like it when people take me seriously. It makes me feel proud.
But you're stocked in quite a lot of places, so they should.
I know, but I feel like, yeah, I think I've got obviously hard to impress family members.
How many stockists do you have now?
I think about 50.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, your family members are very hard to help.
Yeah. Is it because they don't know the shops, I guess? So then they're just like, they want me to say John Lewis, basically.
Yeah, okay.
Because all the advice I ever get is, have you tried John Lewis? And I'm like, yeah, good idea.
Do you get into an explanation or like about it, or do you just say thank you and smile?
I just say thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think I mentioned before, dealing with someone like the supermarkets and John Lewis is very different for cards than some other categories.
Yeah.
And maybe it's not always be all, what's that expression? Like it's maybe not all that as a small greeting card publisher, because everything is done for brokerage and it's seller return. Yeah. You make more money selling elsewhere.
It sounds very complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I haven't bothered to explain that to various people.
No, of course not. So where can people find your work and buy from you?
So on my website, which is peggycronk.com, you can see my work on Instagram. It's Peggy and Kate. And then I've got my fair link that you're very welcome to use if you're a shop.
And we'll pop all the links, including the fair direct link, in the show notes. So if you are interested, definitely use that, because then there's zero commission for Kate, which is nice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on the podcast and having a chat. And well done for, constantly pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Thank you. This was my scary thing for today.
Yeah.
So that's ticked off the list.
Yay!
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.